Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Wayne Miller.
And this is It's Movie Time.
It is. And John, I feel like I need to bulk up and let my dye my hair blonde and let it grow long and look like Thor.
Oh, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm beginning to think that Chris Hemsworth's obsession with his body is distracting.
Oh, well, it's this movie that we're reviewing.
Yes.
The latest one, Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yes.
And of course, it's mostly a comedy in a lot of ways, but a kind of heartfelt one, as we find out near the end. But funny scene in the palace of all those gods, and Zeus blows off his clothes, and all the like little handmaidens faint, from seeing a nude Thor and his mighty hammer.
And I'm told he is obsessive about his working out. And really, he's short of the kind of Schwarzenegger stuff. He's short of that, but he's getting to a point where if he's embracing someone, for instance, there's nothing but his bicep in the goddamn frame.
Yes.
So anyway, this is not jealousy at any point. It's just where, what is
envy.
and not even that, right?
Yeah.
It's just what's good for the frame, and even for the human being. And I think he's pushing it to that point. But anyway, Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Yes.
Yes.
He does a good job. And what's interesting, of course, in that one Avengers movie, that he really lets himself go to I think early in the film, I have a scene of him with like a big trucker, big beer belly,
Oh yes, he really does. I know.
And he's working out, and I think, and the voiceover that's done so very well by the director of the movie, Taika Waititi, and says something going from, I think, something like a fat bod to a god bod, after he loses the weight and works out, and gets his strength back.
Let me try to get his name right. Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika
Waititi. Yeah, there's a Y. And I'm going to do a show on him. I think he is an outstanding talent.
Oh, he is. I particularly liked him. He won the Oscar, I think, for screenplay for Jojo Rabbit.
Exactly.
And then, of course, several years ago, he did directed the Thor
Ragnarok, right? And he really lightened up the scene with that one.
Yeah.
And as you said, you can tell his comedic touch here.
Yes.
So it fits
definitely.
Hemsworth just very well, making his little quips.
Yeah, little quips and his interaction with some of the other people, and of course, there's a whole thing to be said about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, a review that I read that somebody said, because they were talking about the end credits, where everybody, they know they have to stay the 8-9 minutes through the end credits to see some like little clips, and this is where MCU introduces some new characters, also kind of sets up for a future movie.
Right.
Maybe not the next movie.
And we don't know if Idris Elba is gonna.
Yeah, Idris Elba, but also the guy who, they're introducing a character, and they were saying that it's on the drawing boards, but nothing worked out yet for a Hercules movie as part of the whole Marvel universe. But also kind of a fun, because Zeus is not happy at all with Thor. And of course that's a whole side note. But the clip that Zeus is talking to his son Hercules,
I think
to kind of like kick the crap out
I think Russell Crowe is an outstanding part of this film. He plays a shabby, bulky in a different way.
And with this one review, they were saying that it's really hard to pin down what kind of accent that he's going for. But yeah, he's seen, because he's all bulked up and wearing like a cheap like little god outfit, and with this, to me his accent made to me sound like the character Tevye from the musical Fiddler on the Roof.
Well, is it something between Greek and Italian?
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell.
Yeah,
But,
he
but
did.
you know, he's no piker as an actor, so he's putting us on. And he's just having a great, that scene with all the nubile ladies all
Yes,
around.
yeah.
And with Zeus,
It's-
snarky comments.
Well, then, of course, it's this council of the gods or whatever. He says, okay, we got to talk about next year, our next orgy. You know, they're planning the next orgy and stuff like that. But he got one review though, because I've read several reviews about this movie over the weekend, and one review, they were really like Crow and thought it was about the best thing in the movie, and the other ones thought he was a big distraction. You know,
Yes.
he was a kind of like, okay, you know, it's way too over the top. I found it, since it was an amusing movie, a very amusing
Exactly.
character
I think it was
for
a
the
very
movie.
nice compliment to it.
Yeah.
And there's only so much of Thor you can take.
Yes.
And even his quips,
Yeah.
which do trail off, I don't find very many toward the end because it gets serious as it's just
Yes,
required to do.
Yes.
Yes, you're going to have
Yeah.
to have your big battle, blah, blah,
Blah,
blah.
blah.
And so we're not
Yeah,
going to get the
and
quips.
maybe a death of somebody,
Yes, right.
you know, an important person.
Yeah, yeah.
And some heartfelt thoughts about, you know, that person's demise.
Now in Thor, Thunder and Love, I think I found a really good villain.
Oh, Christian Bale. And one review said he looked like a very pale zombie Ed Harris. Which I thought was very
It is
funny.
a terrific
Yeah.
makeup deal. Now he's known for shaping his body in a
Oh,
different way
yeah.
from Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, either bulky or
Right.
skinny as a
Yeah,
rail. Yeah.
And he is in this one, and I'll tell you what I like about this. He is the God Butcher.
The
right?
God Butcher,
Right.
yeah.
Which I love just that title.
Yeah, the God Butcher, not just the God.
Right, the God Butcher. And
yeah.
naturally Thor has to be concerned since he's a god. And so they're connected, he and Natalie Portman
Yeah,
as King Thor?
yeah,
No.
or the Mighty Thor.
The Mighty,
is
okay.
what her kind of like
Yeah.
little title
But she has a
is.
hammer, his old hammer, right?
His old hammer, and that he feels like that, and it seems like the weapons have personalities on his own because he's now got like some sort of a battle axe or something like that that is kind of, one thing I was reading because, and here's one of the things, sometimes the movie is so jam-packed and in a lot of ways moves so fast, it's hard to, like you almost have to see it a second time to catch some of the quips, but also
Yeah.
some of the whole Marvel backstory with this. And in fact, and so one of the weapons is jealous of the other one. Like maybe Thor liked it better or likes it better, but that one of the reviews that I really have to agree with this because I feel the same way. And they said they've packed it in. So they were talking about the end credits and
Yeah.
how it always introduces some plot or a new character or something like that.
Yeah.
And they said, what kind of hurts the enjoyment of the whole movie, of all of the movies, is that it's beginning to feel like homework. And you know, John, I'm a historian.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I kind of like some of these, the whole backstory and the whole thing like that. But sometimes if you miss, particularly the Avengers movie, because it packs everybody in there,
Yeah.
you miss an awful lot of some of the other movies that are like the whole Spider-Man or Doctor Strange or Thor or Black Widow, blah, 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 right down the line that you lose something if you don't pick up particularly the Avengers movies. And it does feel like homework.
And I
in a
think,
way.
and you're right too, when you're there obsessed with picking out every cameo.
Yes.
You know, I mean, so if you miss Matt Damon and that production, big deal.
Yeah.
But you're looking and you might miss the fact that Taika Waititi is actually that rock guy.
Yeah, the rock guy, which is a really funny character with some great lines, and then it's kind of like blown up or something, and all that, so they carry around his head or
Korg
face or
is his name.
Korg.
Korg.
don't you love some of the names like Gore, the Christian Bale's character?
Yes, right,
and
right.
Stuff like
And
that.
then the one you always like, isn't it Goof or?
Goof.
I am
Oh,
Groot.
Groot. Yeah, what you call it. An enjoyable part for me in the movie is early on that Thor's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So of course you see Groot and the raccoon, and of course Groot's I think voiced by
Vin Diesel. Yeah.
But yeah, the little tree character Groot.
And Bradley
Chris
Cooper
Pratt.
as
The little raccoon,
Rocket.
Rocket the raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the woman that looks like she's got like little insect feelers on her forehead. And I would say maybe next to Spider-Man that I've enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit more because it has a bit of a Guardians has a bit of a Star Trek, Star Wars vibe to it.
Oh yeah, and
On the ship, and Pratt is kind of a Harrison Ford.
and I like Pratt. I
yes.
like Pratt is low key.
Yeah.
You know, so he can not low key.
No. Thor's brother, but oh my God. But there's so many characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you get kind of lost,
Oh, yeah.
Enjoying the forest, you get lost by trying to recognize each individual.
However, they are really good at picking the right actor for the right role.
Definitely.
All right, Wayne Miller.
Yeah.
The movie is Thor,
Yes.
Love and Thunder,
Yes.
starring Chris Hemsworth and a variety of well-known actors.
Yes.
What do you recommend to our audience?
I would recommend seeing it, even if you're not a huge fan, because some people aren't. Like our good friend, the manager at Bravo, Troy, was saying he's not that much into the Marvel movies as he is the DC movies, and I thought that got me thinking with Christian Bale in this one.
Yes.
Because Troy said he really liked. He's more of a Batman type of person.
Yeah.
And of course, so Christian Bale, so it got me kind of thinking. I'm going to have to do some research. Those who have been both a big part of both movie studios, DC or Marvel,